Tesla isn't trying to sell you a cheaper car. Tesla is trying to erase the idea that you ever need to buy another one. And that creates a problem nobody is talking about. Because if a $15,000 to $20,000 Tesla really lasts decades with almost no maintenance, then the entire business model of the auto industry collapses, including Tesla's own. This video explains why Tesla is quietly designing the Model 2 to outlast ownership itself, how that's even possible, and why this might be the most dangerous experiment Elon Musk has ever approved.
The paradox Tesla created. For over 100 years, car companies relied on one silent assumption. Cars wear out. Engines degrade. Transmissions fail. Frames loosen. Maintenance keeps the industry alive. That's not a flaw. That's the business. Tesla is attacking that assumption directly, not with magic, not with marketing, but by removing the parts that normally fail in the first place. The Model 2 isn't revolutionary because it's cheap. It's revolutionary because it's being engineered to stop aging like a traditional car. And here's the paradox. If Tesla succeeds, customers don't come back every 5 to 7 years. They stop replacing cars. They stop feeding the cycle, which raises a question Tesla never answers out loud. Why would a company willingly design a product that destroys repeat demand? Hold on to that question, because the answer isn't obvious and it isn't comforting.
How Tesla is removing failure itself. Traditional cars are assembled from hundreds of stamped metal pieces. Each weld is a stress point. Each joint flexes slightly. Over time, vibration turns into noise. Noise turns into misalignment, and misalignment quietly kills cars long before the engine ever fails. Tesla replaced that entire philosophy. Instead of welding hundreds of parts together, Tesla casts massive sections of the vehicle as single structural pieces. No welds, no bolts, no stacked tolerances drifting over time. This isn't about speed, although speed is a side effect. It's about removing the places where cars normally start to die. When you eliminate joints, you eliminate rust paths. When you eliminate joints, you eliminate long-term flex. When you eliminate joints, you eliminate alignment drift that quietly destroys vehicles after 150,000 miles. This is why Tesla talks less about features and more about manufacturing physics. They're not building a better car. They're building a car that doesn't degrade the way cars are supposed to, and that should make you uncomfortable.
Why this is terrifying for the industry. Here's where the story turns. If Tesla's approach works, it doesn't just beat competitors, it invalidates them. Legacy automakers don't struggle because they lack engineers. They struggle because their factories are designed around complexity. Stamping plants, welding lines, supplier networks built to support thousands of failure-prone components. Tesla's approach doesn't scale gently, it scales brutally. You can't partially adopt single-piece casting. You either rebuild your factories from the ground up or accept permanent disadvantage. And rebuilding means billions of stranded infrastructure, years of lost production, labor systems that no longer fit the process. That's why competitors aren't responding publicly. They're not confused, they're trapped.
Now pause for a moment, because if you're still watching, you've already realized something most people haven't. This isn't really a story about a cheap Tesla. It's about whether cars are about to stop behaving like consumables. Up to this point, everything sounds impressive. Faster production, fewer parts, lower costs. But none of that matters unless one thing is true: that this system still works after 10 years, not 10 weeks. Because if it does, speed stops being risky and slowness becomes the failure. Keep that in mind, because what comes next explains why Tesla's biggest risk isn't engineering at all, it's psychology.
The part Tesla doesn't advertise. Here's the part Tesla fans often ignore. When you remove complexity, you remove forgiveness. A traditional factory can absorb small mistakes. A hyper-optimized system cannot. If a tolerance is wrong, every car inherits it. If a design assumption is flawed, millions feel it. Tesla is betting that data, automation and feedback loops can replace decades of human inspection and slow correction. That's a bold bet, because if Tesla is right, quality improves with speed. But if Tesla is wrong, failure doesn't creep in slowly, it arrives all at once. And that's why the Model 2 isn't just a product, it's a live experiment on whether modern manufacturing can learn faster than it produces.
The economic aftershock. If cars stop breaking, the consequences extend far beyond automakers. Dealership service revenue collapses. Parts suppliers lose demand. Independent repair networks shrink. Entire regional economies built around maintenance feel the impact. This isn't disruption, it's subtraction, and Tesla knows this, which explains something subtle. Tesla isn't optimizing the Model 2 for luxury, emotion, or even desire. They're optimizing it for repeatability, a system that can run for years without slowing down, a product that becomes infrastructure instead of an upgrade. That's not how consumer products usually work. That's how utilities work.
So here's the real question. Not whether the Model 2 is cheap, not whether it's electric, not whether it's fast to build, but whether people are ready to trust a car that was designed to outlast the idea of replacement. Because if Tesla proves that speed doesn't reduce quality and simplicity doesn't reduce durability, then everything built the old way becomes overpriced overnight. And if Tesla fails, this becomes the most expensive manufacturing mistake of the decade. There is no middle ground. Either the Model 2 rewrites what ownership means, or it exposes the limit of automation itself. That verdict won't come from headlines or presentations. It will come from driveways, repair bills, and time. And by the time most people realize which side won, the shift will already be over. So don't tell me whether you like this idea. Tell me this instead. Would you trust a car designed to last longer than the industry that built it? Drop your answer below. And if you want to stay ahead of where Tesla is actually going, not the hype, not the headlines, make sure you're subscribed. Because after this, the story isn't about cars anymore. It's about who survives the transition. I don't want opinions here. I want a line in the sand. Comment future if you believe cars should be built like infrastructure, designed to last decades with minimal intervention. Comment risk if you think a car built this fast can never earn long-term trust, no matter how advanced the factory is. Read the replies, because this debate is exactly what the entire auto industry is about to face. And whichever side wins decides who still exists after 2026.
Please subscribe for more Tesla updates.